How did my client Mike lose 23 pounds? But more importantly, how did he build the confidence to know that he's going to keep it off? In this video, I get a chance to interview Mike, and I'm so excited to share so that you can take some of the lessons that he learns and use them in your own weight loss journey. And before diving into it today, we are in the business to get you happier and healthier. And so if you are looking for more awesome ways to simplify the process of getting healthy, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you tap that bell button to be notified when we release new videos, and tune in because we got a lot of awesome stuff coming. With that being said, let's get into it. Hey, what's up? My name is Schuyler Diehm. I'm the founder of Reach Fat Loss and Fitness, where our goal is to help you get in the best shape of your life without spending all your time counting calories, without any restrictive or sucky diets, without any painful cardio. We make it extraordinarily easy, and what we're going to talk about today has helped clients of mine, such as Mike, lose fat, build muscle, and not only make the weight loss process easier, but also make it much more sustainable. In this video, I got a chance to sit down with Mike and speak about his journey in the hopes that you can get some value from it. And before we get into it, if you are looking to learn more about my program, if you are looking to learn how you can simplify the process and the system we use, make sure you check the free training and the link in the description. In that training, I lay out exactly why what we do is so effective and how you can implement it in your own life. But without further ado, let's get into it. Today, I thought we'd talk a little bit about your experience in our fat loss program. You've had a solid amount of success, and I'd love to dig into your experience in the hopes that other people can kind of learn from maybe mistakes you made in the past, mistakes you made in the program, things you did well, everything like that. So you've had a very interesting history with food and with weight loss before we were able to work together. The cool part is too, when you came in, you also were eating decently healthy, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Just share a little bit about your history with fat loss, weight loss, things you tried in the past, how they've gone, and then kind of what brought you here.
Well, I've lost this weight twice in the past 40 years. And like so many people, of course, I put it all back on. One time it took about a year, one time it just took about 6 months. So that's why I'm in maintenance now. And I'm excited about it because that is not going to happen this time.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot in the REACH program, and I'm still using that. And it's not going to happen. I'm confident and fully committed still. So
Yeah. So you're down about like 23 pounds now, which is at
23
your goal
pounds.
weight. Yep. And we're continuing to work towards recomp. So still like slowly burning some fat, building some muscle. What do you think was different this go around? Like what makes it so that you feel comfortable that you're keeping it off?
Well, there's so much, especially with regards to nutrition and fasting. Those are the two things that, when I did this before, even like a year and a half ago or 2018, whenever that was, I did it with just calorie restriction and very low carb. And I told my doctor, it's not sustainable. Don't be excited about this. I can't continue this. I'd done it for 3 months. And sure, I lost weight, but it was not sustainable. So now I've learned, for the past 8.5 months in this program, I've basically eaten whatever I wanted to eat. The key was, and this is where it's different for the first time ever for me, the ingredients had to be clean. I scrutinize those ingredient labels on everything when I shop. And if it has something in it that I know I don't want to put in my body, I just put that product back on the shelf.
Yeah.
So that's different.
Yeah.
So it's not, I didn't count carbs. I never once looked at calories. You know that. I don't even see the calories on a nutrition label. I'm interested only in the ingredients, the protein grams, and if there's any added sugars, where does it come from?
Yep.
That's the three things I look at, and that's different now.
Yeah. I love it.
By the way, I'll see him again for a physical in February, and he's going to be very excited about that.
I'm sure he is. It's going to be
He
awesome.
is.
Yeah. With the fasting, so nutrition part, you absolutely crushed. Like you've been able to eat foods you enjoy. You've been able to not, again, like spend all your time tracking numbers, weighing food, doing all the stuff that takes all this time. The fasting was also a cool shift for you because you came in and you had done some intermittent fasting. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Just following some YouTube videos of some nutritionists. And I experimented with it, and I liked it. It suited my lifestyle, but I wasn't as in tune with it as I was once I got in the program.
Yeah.
Remember, I was doing like 5, 18, 6, 18-hour fast, 6-hour eating window. Then I started adding 1 24-hour fast a week. But if you remember, in the last month when I was trying to reach my goal weight, I did 3 24-hour fasts a week for about 4 weeks.
You had said at the beginning you were very hesitant with the 24s. Yeah.
Yes, and especially 3 of them. But that seemed to work. That got me over that plateau that I'd been on for a while.
Yeah.
When you mentioned my experience, it's not really different than anyone else's in that there were major wins and there were some low points too. And you know what I was talking about. We changed my carbs a little bit twice during the program. I really changed my attitude towards the scale.
Yes.
Now on Monday mornings, I look forward to going back there and weighing.
Yeah.
Bring it on. Let's see the number.
That's it. Tell me how you felt like at the beginning when you were stepping on the scale. And I know how you felt, but just share.
Sometimes I'd feel defeated. I thought I worked so hard just to lose 3/10 of a pound for the week. Or worse, back then, I might have gained a pound and a half. I didn't really understand the concept of if you weighed every day, which I would never suggest someone do, but there's going to be natural fluctuations with your weight. There's so many things that affect that, not just water retention, but there's other biological things going on that can change your weight from day to day. And I just expected, remember, I wanted that line to just go straight down.
Would be nice.
And we had one pretty powerful conversation. And I thought, okay, I know he's right. He knows more about this than I do. So I just need to change my attitude. And
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. What do you think helped you do that? Because obviously, like for most people, logically, they can kind of capture, like, well, the scale's not going to go down every week. It's not always going to be a straight line. The number change isn't just body fat, like it could be water retention. But then on an emotional level, it's much different. Like emotionally, people have a hard time grasping that. So what do you think helped you integrate that to allow you to feel better stepping on the scale?
Well, I had a little energy switch. I thought all this energy that I'm putting into that number on the scale, which is really just a number,
Mhm.
I'm going to put that energy into really positive thinking. That's when we came up with my mantra, trust the process.
Yep.
Just do it day after day after day. Enjoy the journey, trust it. It will work. And I did. I just kind of changed my focus to that. And you remember, I would write on my weekly check in form, it's just a number. Yes, it went down, but I'm more impressed with my body fat percentage going down and my muscle mass going up. And we're still continuing that some. So that's
We
good.
are, yeah. So we're in maintenance. So you just passed week 4 of maintaining, and I asked you this on our last call of just how the process feels for you in terms of, and I know you mentioned it's different from all the other times you've done it, but like how has it felt the past few weeks? How do you feel like you've been doing in terms of like difficulty level of being able to maintain the past few weeks?
On a scale of 1 to 10, the difficulty's been a 5.
Beautiful.
I, I feel so confident with it. And the only thing that's a little bit different is my fasting during maintenance.
Yep.
And by the way, in the 4 weeks of maintenance, I kept my weight actually a little below my goal weight. So that was great. But I just do one 24-hour fast a week now. Sometimes I'll do a 16-8 or an 18-6 on 4 or 5 days. That feels very normal to me now. And I always want to continue the 24-hour fast
Yeah.
once a week. I like that. Sure, I like the maybe some detox going on, giving my body a rest. But what I really like, to be honest, is I just don't even think about food that day.
Yeah.
I enjoyed some green tea and some water and some apple cider vinegar and water. And it's really a nice break.
Yeah. It's interesting because I know there's people watching this that are saying that's BS. He's lying. He's making it up. There's no way 24 hours easy. Like, tell me how it actually feels. Like, has it been difficult? Like, where's your mind at with the 24s?
Well, it's very, very good now. And I would tell those people it wasn't always easy. 8 months ago, I was like everyone. I'd never done a 24-hour fast before the Reach program. I'd done a lot of 18-6s just kind of on my own. I thought 24 hours, ugh. But remember, we covered some things that actually help it. The apple cider vinegar and water, that really does kind of take the edge off if you're hungry. And it's like anything else, I did a couple of them and you just feel confident. Okay, I did this last week. I can do this week. And you do it. Then I did probably 4 or 5 36-hour and maybe 3 48-hour. I never did more than a 48-hour fast.
How was your experience with the 48?
That was
A little challenge.
challenging
Yeah.
for me.
How'd you
I know
feel
it's.
when you were done?
I felt incredibly empowered.
Mhm.
I thought I actually did this. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Even a year ago that I could do a fast for 48 hours. I was careful about how I broke that 48-hour fast. uh, I was really kind of surprised. I really wasn't, ravenously hungry. I broke it and I was careful with that. And then the next day was just a normal 18.6 for me, and that felt really good.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
The fasting's been very important for me as far as the weight loss.
Yeah, arguably, to me, like the healthy eating will help you drop some weight. Like the ingredient quality will help you drop some weight. The exercise, the walking, all that, which you crushed, and I want to get into that. But that'll help you drop some weight. But ultimately, I do believe that fasting is the key. Like if you hit some extended fasts, your body has a chance to really start to work through some stuff.
And you can feel that the next day, you just feel so good mentally and physically.
Yep.
I know it's your body saying thank you.
Yeah.
It has to be. Just it appreciates it too. So
Yeah. So before we get into your walk, which is probably going to be the highlight of this, what would you say? Because there's so many people who've tried the fasting or the healthy eating, or maybe they've done diets and it's really been a struggle for them. What would you say was the most helpful thing for you on this journey? The past, what we're at, maybe like 8 months now, 7, 8 months?
well, I have an outstanding coach.
Oh, thank you.
So you have been an inspiration and very important, but also, and I've mentioned this before to others, the modules
Hmm,
in the beginning of the Reach program that helps so much, especially with mindfulness, to just lay out what you're about to do and to get you excited about it.
yeah.
I was very excited about it. I was 100% in from the beginning. I just wasn't prepared for some of the normal lows that we were going to have in the 7 months that it took to lose the weight. But
Yep. What about something like education wise or strategy wise? Because not everyone here is going to get to go through the modules or, get to have calls and be part of this program. So, like, what's something that has helped you stay consistent or see better results that maybe you hadn't done in your previous attempts?
well, even if they're not in the program, they have access to your videos on YouTube,
That's true.
and those help a lot. I did have accountability, not only to you, but our group call. I felt accountable to those people who I consider my friends now, but also accountability locally too. If somebody asked me, I shared them what I was doing. And, once I'd lost 10 pounds anyway, they'd say, "Oh, Mike, you've lost some weight." And I'd tell them about it. And once you tell them about it, then I need to prove it. And I just stuck with it.
Yeah, it's been awesome to watch just your journey of like not even physically of just losing the weight, which has been really impressive, but the mental journey of the scale, the marathon, which I think I want to get into now. And yeah, just your entire journey has been super inspiring to watch and like the positivity you bring to it too, to learn from mistakes, to be open. A lot of people are very closed-minded with like coaching and taking advice, being willing to admit mistakes or places they fell short, but like you were very your ability to reflect, your ability to take lessons and move forward with them has also been really cool to see.
I've told you before, my favorite quote of yours to me was, "I don't like the direction this is going."
Yeah. Can you
I thought,
quickly explain what happened in that moment?
yeah, I was mad that I had gained a pound and a half that week
Yep.
because I had enjoyed some eating. And I really did. I told you I enjoyed it. But in my weekly check in, I got all bent out of shape over it.
Yeah.
This good time was certainly not worth gaining a pound and a half. I will never do that again.
Yep.
And you were pretty calm about it, but you were very firm about it. And I thought, okay, I have to readjust here.
Yeah. And you did.
And that's powerful when you can change your attitude about something.
Yeah. All right. The marathon, my favorite part. So
Yes.
you have walked marathons in the past. Yep. 1451. Tell me about it.
Yes, I'd walked two marathons in the past.
Yep.
Same course all three times. I did one in 2020, 2021, and 2022. I did it June 18th, and I started in the program at the end of March. So you were very aware of all the training that I'd done for it. I had very good training walks. I was impressed with my time. I took off that morning about 6:30 and I hit that first mile, and she came on Strava and said distance 1 mile, time 14 minutes and 31 seconds. And I thought, what? And I just thought, okay, this is it. This is what I've asked for. I'm going to just go. And I think I did the first 12 miles, sub 15-minute pace.
Yeah.
And then I ended up doing the whole thing at a 14:51 pace, which was 17 minutes faster than I'd done it the year before.
Which
A
is
little bit.
insane.
That's insane. Yes, I'll tell you, that's insane. A little bit of that was physical. I probably weighed less out of the 3 times I did it. I weighed less in June than I had the past 2. So that gets into a little bit of physics, I'm just carrying around less weight moving, but most of it was mental, that.
Yes. And with your training, like you truly showed up. And I think that's a lot of people forget. Like it's great to talk about the strategies. It's great to talk about, the fasting and all the things that you can do to lose weight. But until you show up for yourself, until you do it consistently, it's not going to happen. So like I don't think you missed a single training session when you were training
Mhm.
for weights and walks. You hit the fast that you said you were going to do. When you got coaching of like, hey, let's increase your carbs a little bit. Let's have a little bit more rice, a little bit more food from a carb source. You did it, and so like that's a quality that not many people are able to keep up for very long, or they haven't developed that skill to do that. But you did that. You did the training sessions, you ate, you did the fast, and like it all came together on that marathon. Like it all paid off.
One of those walks, remember, I ran out of gas, and it was a scary feeling that had never happened to me before, ever. And we talked about it. We upped the carbs, and that was the key to it. And so then I just thought it was more educational for me than anything else. Okay, this Saturday I have to walk 21 miles. That's going to take about 5.5 hours. Just get ready for it mentally. And by the way, that 21-mile walk was in 52 degrees with cold rain for 5.5 hours.
Yep.
It,
You
it,
did.
it ruined my earbuds. I had to go buy new earbuds, but I thought, if I can do that, because that really was not comfortable.
Yeah.
I did it at a good pace, but it was pretty miserable conditions. I thought, if I can do that, I'm going to really try to just see what I can do with this. It all just fell into place. That was a day I will never, ever forget, ever.
Yes. Heck yes.
I'm looking forward to the fourth one. By the way, I wrote the training program. So if this has worked in the past 2 years. All I have to do, it's right here on the page. Just do it and shut up.
Yep.
And that's even what I tell friends of mine that ask about it. I'll be happy to share that training program with you. It does work.
Yeah. That's another important note. And I'm glad you said that. Is like a lot of people are hoping that they lose fat and they're hoping that they reach their ideal weight, but there's no sort of plan. Like, yeah, maybe the plan is, hey, I'm going to work out, or maybe they have a plan, but it's too extreme. But like you had a plan that you were able to follow through with, still challenged you. I'm sure there's still days you didn't feel like walking, but you went out and did it anyway. And because
Yes.
you followed through, you're like, there's no way you're not going to reap the reward if you don't follow through with it.
And even now, I continue to walk.
Hmm.
It's so important to move every day. And
Yep.
I don't care what you do. You can walk or park farther away from the store or walk around the house every hour for 250 steps. It's just so important. And remember in the beginning, I didn't really believe that walking helped weight loss because that hadn't helped me in the past. I just did it because I knew it was important for other bodily functions, than losing weight. See, that's just part of, I didn't have the right mindset then. I wasn't as in tune with really clean ingredients that you should be eating. And when you do that, coupled with the fasting and the workouts, it works.
Yeah, it does.
If it's not working, you're not being honest with yourself.
Mm.
There's some place that you're not participating.
Yeah.
So, and I was always doing self checks, that.
Yep.
By the way, that has not stopped in maintenance. That's still, in fact, I'm probably now in maintenance, even more keenly aware of that little voice in my head, of how my body feels, and mainly how I react, especially to that little voice, which, oh, you don't need to work out today. It's cold outside. You've done so good. And boy, that's headed in the wrong direction, truly.
It is.
I know that from the past.
Yep.
You know, one thing leads to another. Pretty soon you've put on 5 pounds, that leads to 10. And there's no worse feeling
Yeah.
than when you've put it all on plus some.
Yep.
And you just feel defeated and you think, well, look at all that work that I did for nothing. So that's not going to happen this time.
Absolutely not. And I can just tell like your energy is different, your awareness and consciousness around health is different. And I think that's a good point because a lot of people miss that of they think they reach their goal weight and then they can just like move on with their life and life is good. But like you always have to keep that awareness. I still find myself like having that conversation in the back of my mind of like, well, you don't have to work out today. Or, well, you know what, you fasted so much, like you don't need to finish this fast. You can just have something a little early. And the decision, the direction your life goes is going to be how you react to that voice, because that voice isn't going to leave.
Well, if someone told me they reached their goal weight, the first thing I would say is congratulations. You should celebrate it. You should be proud of yourself. You should be thankful for all the compliments you're getting from family and friends and coworkers. Do something for you. Buy a new outfit, get a haircut, go on a trip, something. It's wonderful. But the very next thing I would tell them is don't see this as an end. See this as just a new chapter, and it's going to be just as exciting and as the previous weight loss chapter has been for you. Now this chapter is called maintenance and body recomposition, and I do think it's exciting. It's educational, and it's just a new path.
Yeah. How has life changed since joining the program?
Well, now we're back to my mental state.
Yeah.
It's just I react to things differently. I think I know more about what's important and what's not important now. There's still stress in my life sometimes. Life's never going to be just perfect every day for you. You're going to have to face some things, but I'm much calmer with it. Some of that's the confidence of setting a goal and actually reaching it, but a lot of it's just right here.
Yep. You did the things to help you lose weight. You did the workouts, you did the fast, you ate the meals, but more importantly, you also did the things to develop yourself into the person that's able to do those things consistently.
Yes,
That's the
which is
part.
one of the key parts of the program in the first 2 weeks.
Yep.
Visualize what you want to look like.
Yep.
What does that person feel like? What does that person do that you're not doing now? And I did those exercises, where I really thought about that, made notes with it, and it really does work.
Yeah. Are you
The
that person
physical,
now?
I am that person now. Yes.
Yeah.
And that to me is more remarkable than, losing 23 pounds and reaching a goal weight. That's wonderful. Don't get me wrong, but to change your thinking and how you react, and
Mhm.
that's really kind of the core work.
Yeah. It is. It's really interesting because, like, from a, my coaching business is something I choose to market, and whether it's Instagram, YouTube videos, all of that. And I have to find the line because that's what it is. Like, you're developing yourself into the person that can keep this stuff up forever, but you can't really market that. Like the marketing is the fasting, the marketing is the weight training and the walking and the eating the real ingredients. But it's like the only way to upkeep those things long term is if you truly develop yourself into the person that's able to do that.
Absolutely. That is capital T truth.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because all of us, well, not all of us, but I bet there are a lot of people just like me that have done this in the past, 2, 3, 4 times, put the weight all back on.
Yep.
Then you did the work and you reached the goal, and that's great, but you didn't become the person that would be able to do this consistently. That's the difference.
Yeah. So I appreciate your time today immensely, Mike. Is there one thing, like one piece of advice or something that you want to leave with the people watching this?
Well, two things.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Okay. Trust the process, and more importantly, believe in yourself. You absolutely can do this.
Yeah.
The physical part, the fasting, that's not going to be nearly as challenging in most cases as changing the way you're thinking, the way you're reacting, the things you believe. If you're thinking, oh, I might lose the weight, but in 6 months, I know I'm just going to put it all back on again. If you say that to yourself, that's exactly what you're going to do.
Yep.
Don't have that conversation with yourself. Have the opposite conversation with yourself. You might hear that voice say that, but listen to it and then ignore it and say, no, I feel really good about this now.
Yeah.
And I wish I could share how good it feels with anyone beginning the journey.
Mm.
I wish they could have seen how excited I was to go back and try on 19 pairs of pants
Yeah.
and have a stack of 11 pairs that I'm donating to the homeless shelter here because they're too big now. That was a really nice treat.
Man, it makes it all worth it. It makes the difficult days because it's not always easy. And I'm sure you had tough days. I know you did, but it makes it all worth it
Yes,
to be at this point.
I totally agree.
Well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate you. So there you have it. I want to give a huge shout out to Mike for not only taking the time to show up and to have this conversation with me, but also taking the time and the energy to show up for himself. I said it in the interview, Mike followed through. And like, I could give you the perfect plan. I could also help you and coach you through obstacles. But if you're not willing to show up for yourself, if you're just not willing to do the workouts, the walks, to do the things in the plan, this will not work for you. However, if you are committed, I can guarantee some really, really awesome results. And so if you are interested in learning what it would look like to work together, or maybe just learning a little bit more about what we do, we have a free training in the description of this video. Make sure you check that out. I basically lay out why this is what I believe to be the simplest and easiest way to lose weight and keep it off. And then there's also the opportunity there to book a free call to discuss if working together would be a good move for you. But besides that, I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we got a lot of awesome other interviews coming out, as well as new videos every single week. But with that being said, I appreciate you. And of course, as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.